Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review, continuing on with all of the figures I've gotten for my birthday. We're going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Survival Wild Roar Pteranodon. So kind of like what I said in my birthday haul video, this was one that I was not I wasn't super interested in getting this when I first saw like the very first images of it, but the more I looked at it and just I've seen other reviews, I actually started to grow a liking to it. I just think this Pteranodon is very unique looking, very different in terms of design, that I think is definitely worth getting because of just how different it looks. And I really like the overall design of this Pteranodon because it stands out with all the other Pteranodons we've gotten. And yeah, it really does fit the whole mutated look because it's definitely not your average Pteranodon. So I really do like that a lot. Yeah, I'm really digging these Wild Roar figures. The electronics are pretty cool for what they are, and I really do like the sculpts that these figures have. And yeah, this is my very first electronic larger Pteranodon figure since, at least in terms of the electronic ones, I think since 2020, I believe, is the last time I actually got a large electronic Pteranodon. It was from the Primal Attack. I don't know which one because there were like two different versions. There was one from Camp Cretaceous and then one from the standard Primal Attack line. So it's been quite a long time since I had one because obviously I didn't get any for Dominion. I didn't get any from the Chaos Theory line or anything else that came after that. So this is just like my first one in a really long time, and I think it's worth it because of how different it is, like I said. But yeah, really excited to take a closer look at this one because it's very interesting. Packaging wise, it's your standard, Jurassic World Survival Wild Roar packaging. You got that awesome picture of Ember, the T-Rex right there, the Rebirth T-Rex logo, Jurassic World Survival, Wild Roar, Pteranodon. They got the Mattel logo. You got the cool little jungle in the background, which you can kind of see on this one. The Pteranodon's blocking it. You can see it makes noise and it lights up. You got the Jurassic World Rebirth, or not Rebirth, it's just the Jurassic World logo right there. Here on the side, Jurassic World. And here on the back, it just says Wild Roar Pteranodon, Light Up Attack. And it says this, the facts up information and the others in the lineup. We're going to review the Afro Venator next. Not interested in getting the Ceratosaurus as of right now. And then we already took a look at this marine reptile before, so if you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch that video if you haven't. But yeah, that's basically it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this new Pteranodon. Alrighty, so here we have the Wild Roar Pteranodon out of the package, and this is a very interesting looking one, having it out of the box with its wings full on displayed and everything. This is a super interesting looking Pteranodon. I'm actually really happy to have it because it's so unique, and there's just a lot going on with it, and I can't wait to do comparisons with another Pteranodon later in the video. But yeah, I mean, this one is very unique looking. Everything about it is like super different compared to your usual look of other Pteranodons. So I mean, like, my main standpoint, right, or the main standout with this one is the bat-like wings on this one. Like, it has like an extra, I guess you can say a digit or a finger, because the bats have the same thing, sticking out from the hand as it goes down, which is where the membrane can connect to. So very much like a bat, and a lot of the times kind of like how dragons have their wings. So that's very interesting, having a bat-winged Pteranodon. Like, that's actually really cool. This one really does fit the whole mutated surviving aspect of the Jurassic World Survival toy line, because this is definitely what you would call a mutated Pteranodon, that's for certain. So yeah, let's take a closer look here at the head sculpt. It's pretty much like a standard Pteranodon like head sculpt. You get the eyes right there and the little nostrils high up in the skull, the nice elongated beak, which it's really cool to have a curve to it instead of having it be kind of super straight. So it's kind of cool to have a bit more of a difference in the beak shape. Even the inside of the mouth looks good, though I'll have to show you that later because it's going to trigger the sound effect. The lower jaw looks really nice as well. Just an overall really nice Pteranodon silhouette. You got the classic Pteranodon crest back here, which looks to be made out of scales, actually, because the detail, the texture feels a lot more scaly than just kind of smooth, like it's a keratinous crest. So that's really cool. And you got a lot of scales here at this front part of the face before it fades into a more of a smoother texture, which makes sense for the beak. So yeah, really nice texturing here. Then you got this weird thing back here, right behind the crest. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is it supposed to be more pycnofibers, that hair-like filament sticking out of it or something? Or is it supposed to be like a membrane, like flappy skin that's kind of like all ripped up? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a hair-like filaments or something because the way it's sculpted. So that's very interesting. That's a very unique look for a Pteranodon, in my opinion. So that's very interesting. But it's really cool though because it kind of gives it a really unique looking head shape. And then along the neck, you got not like a whole lot going on. Just you got some, you know, wrinkly skin texture, not really scales yet. But the entire top half of the body, which is what we're gonna look at here, the entire top, or at least you got a little strip of pycnofibers along the back of the pterosaur, which look really great, nicely sculpted. So yeah, that looks good. And then everything else is all just bare skin throughout the rest of the body, even down the tail. But it's got some nice texture and detail to it in the sculpt, so that looks good. A really thick, somewhat of a long tail, nubby tail. But yeah, just some nice detail in the skin, almost like some vein-looking parts of the skin right here, which look really interesting. Again, kind of giving it more of a mutated look to it, like it's very messed up and stuff like that. So I really do like that. The hind limbs look really nice too. A nice amount of muscles showing through the skin and some nice texture with the lined skin detail. Like no scales at all. It's just like really weird looking skin texture. So I really do like that a lot. You can see that on the other side, and as we get down to the feet look really nice. A lot of nice detail in each digit and nice elongated claws, which look good. Same with the other side as well. And on the underside of the body, you got some really nice wrinkly skin texture, especially here towards the chest area, which looks really good. You kind of see some like little vein looking wrinkles, I guess you can say. Some nice little creases of where the arms attach on both sides. I think this is where the ribs are supposed to be seen, unless it's supposed to be weird bumpy protrusions coming out of the skin or something. But yeah, that looks really nice. Nice detail throughout the other underside. Just some nice lined texture in the sculpt. So not really any scales yet on this one except for the face, which you can see is a little bit of a cool spongy looking texture for the underside of the beak, which is really interesting looking. Kind of a freaky looking appearance, but it's very interesting. Again, adding to that really cool grotesque mutant look to it, which I like. Now we're going to get on to the wings, which are very interesting indeed. We're going to take a look at the top part of the wings. So taking a look at the arms themselves, it's pretty muscular in the arms right here. I mean, it's going to need powerful muscles to keep itself flying because it's a really thick looking pterosaur. Like the body is super thick it should have been a bit more thin. I usually kind of prefer it like that, but yeah, the arms here are covered in really great amount of scaling right here, kind of crocodilian like. You got some large ones here around the shoulder and some smaller ones, but the way they're aligned is very similar to that of a crocodilian. And then you got some more of those scales as they go down the rest of the arm, and then the entire arm right here is like these really giant plate like armored skin, or maybe scales, but again, very crocodilian like. So maybe there's some crocodilian in this pterosaur's DNA or something that makes it all mutated or something, or maybe even a bat, who knows. But really cool little detail right here, because we don't see this in other Pteranodon figures. And that continues down all the way down the rest of the arm. Some more of this cool armored like plate like skin or scales, and the hands themselves look really nice. You got some nice little scales in between, or not in between, but on the hands themselves. Nice claws. You got this little other digit kind of hanging down as well, which is really cool how it kind of just like sticks out of the hand and into here. So at least they kind of got it somewhat accurate, if this were to be a real thing. The scales here on the arms, which look really good, and some more of this armored plate-like scales going down the rest of this finger, which look really nice. And you got some nice scales on the wings themselves, which again we've never seen, and some more little veins coming out of it. And the scales kind of start off here and then they kind of fade into the more smooth flappy membrane skin that we have here, which look really nice. So a nice amount of detail in the sculpt and in the texture. So yeah, I really do like that. And then here on the other side, it's pretty much the same with the scales and the larger plate-like scales. You see the hands a bit better, and the other part of the, or just the other side of the wing itself, which looks really nice, and some more detail with the scales and the veins and the more smoother looking texture. So yeah, and then on the wings themselves, you get the cool Jurassic logo right there, and the fax code right there. So yeah, really unique looking hands. And with that too, it's made of a see-through translucent plastic, which is very interesting, which I guess kind of makes sense because bat wings are very kind of translucent. Maybe not the arms themselves, but I think this has to do with the light up feature. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, if I hold my phone up against the sun, or I mean, it's kind of cloudy, you can kind of see how see-through the wings are on both sides, which is really cool. Kind of has a really cool effect to it, but of course when you got the T-Rex logo and the fax code, kind of takes away from it, but still it does have a really cool bat-like appearance to it. So I really do like that. That's a really cool silhouette of it. So yeah, the sculpt work, the detail on this Pteranodon is really great. I really do love this Pteranodon a lot. I know some people may have problems with it, but I really do love it. In terms of colors, the colors are very interesting as well. Has like kind of a chaos effect look to it. That old toy line from, I think, after the Lost World, but it was going to be based off of a show, but it's about a bunch of hybrid mutant dinosaurs that were all brightly colored, which is kind of like what this reminds me of, because it has a bit more of a bright colors to it, especially with this neon looking lime green that they used. So yeah, the main part of the head right here is primarily like this really pale yellow, with maybe like a bluish color for the tip of the beak, which looks really nice, and I like how it fades into the yellow. And I love the dark brown on the face. It works really well on yellow, kind of gives it like a wasp look to it, like how it covers the eye. Got some splotches here on the beak, and I like how it stripes up this crest, because it has a really cool look to it. It makes it pop, and you got a nice little orange eye with a dark pupil, which is the same brown as we see here. And then down the body, the rest of the body is like this neon green color. That's pretty much only on the underside, as we can see here, right here. And then we got the entire back right here, which is actually like a dark, maybe like a very dark brown, but mostly like a black color, kind of splotching along the sides right here, which pretty much covers the pycnofibers. But what's also interesting is that this part of the face is brown, and you got that brown kind of fading into this dark brown color. So that's really interesting. I like the difference in colors that we have going on here. So I really do like that. And the wings are molded in a brown plastic, even though they are see-through, which actually the sun just came out. So let's see what it looks like if we hold. Oh yeah, that's so kind of like what we got before, but it's really cool to see the sun through the wings. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, the colors are very interesting. I really do like them though. They kind of work. It makes it stand out compared to other Mattel Pteranodons for sure. Sadly, there is no paint job for the claws on the hands or the feet, but it is what it is. We'll take a look at the mouth when we do the action feature. But yeah, colors are good. Articulation-wise, on the wings, each wing can basically move up and down. They don't stay up or they don't stay down. You can just manipulate them so you can have it flying, which is what I did a lot as a kid. If it had articulation in the shoulders, this is how I would fly them. So that's really cool how they can do that, but it's kind of weird how it doesn't have anything to do with an action feature. And then you got this joint right here, which you can make the wings fold up. so it's easier for display. You can make it having a dive bomb or something. But they move basically forward and backwards. Like you make it go up like that, which just looks super weird. But yeah, those can move, and then each leg can individually move just forward and backwards. Doesn't really do 360, but I like how they can each individually move, so that's really nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the action features, or for the articulation. So let's go ahead and take a look at the action features, which again, much like the Brachiocaneus before, this is electronic and it does light up. So it's gonna be too bright to see the lights possibly, but we are gonna take a look at the action feature that it has and the sounds. So there is a button right here that if you press it, so you can see a little bit of the lights right here, which is a blue color, but we'll take a look at that in a second. But yeah, if you just press the button down, the jaw opens up and just makes some Pteranodon noises, which yes, they are the actual Jurassic World Pteranodon noises, which is really fitting. So it's not like a Quetzalcoatl sound effect or a raptor, but they use proper Pteranodon sounds, which is really nice. But let's take a closer look at the mouth though. If we just push the button, as you can see, the tongue looks nicely sculpted as well. Same with the little gum flaps, and you got some nice detail on the roof of the mouth. Hopefully it's easier to see. But yeah, there we go. So you can see some nice little detail. It's got the same teeth along the beak, which has been a staple thing since Jurassic Park 3, even though the Jurassic World Pteranodons don't have it, which is accurate. But for a mutant Pteranodon, it actually does work. So the teeth look really nice. Unfortunately, they're not painted. The only thing that's painted is the tongue, the back of the throat, and the gum flaps, and a little bit of the roof of the mouth in this pink fleshy color. Everything else is just the same yellowish color, so it's kind of sad that the teeth aren't painted or that the entire inside of the mouth is painted. But, I mean, oh well, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and go inside and take a closer look at the glow-in-the-dark feature. So yeah, as you can see with the glow-in-the-dark feature, it looks really cool. Having a mutant flying bioluminescent Pteranodon flying around would definitely cause a panic for sure, because it definitely have a really kind of freaky appearance to it. So that is really cool. I like the light up feature a lot. I know it's not something we ever thought Mattel would do, but I think it's pretty cool for the playability. I mean, I'm not going to be using the lights all the time, but for the purpose of the figure and the review, I mean, it's always going to be there. But it's really cool. I like the blue effect. So far, the Brachiocaneus had the better looking effect on it, at least in terms of the placement of the lights. But yeah, I've never seen a flying glow-in-the-dark creature before. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some comparisons. So first up, here we have it next to a human figure, which again, this Pteranodon is way too big. These Mattel Pteranodons, at least part of the electronic assortment, are way too big. That's why I like the smaller ones, like the smaller battle damage one from Fallen Kingdom, and the new one that came with Dr. Henry Loomis. I like those size. Those are actually a pretty good size of a Pteranodon. These ones are just like monstrous, which actually, this monstrous size would work for a mutant Pteranodon, but not so much of an accurate one. But you know, still they do look pretty nice together. And last but not least, here we have the new Jurassic World Survival Pteranodon next to a standard Mattel electronic Pteranodon. And as you can see, there is a lot of differences here, based on what I can see from just this this higher view. Obviously, the head on this one is a lot larger, and this one's a bit more proportionate. This one's got larger or longer hind limbs, and this one has kind of tinier limbs. And the wings on the normal ones are actually a bit more larger or longer, again a bit more proportionate, whereas this one's a bit more shorter. So there's a lot of cool differences between all of these, but it's kind of cool to compare the difference in these electronic Pteranodons, because they do look very interesting. As you can see, the head sculpts look different, And then, yeah, the arms look different themselves. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely very, very cool looking next to each other. It's, I mean, there's really not much to say. I mean, I love to see how these two look next to each other, and I like how different they are, just to show you how much this one really is a mutant Pteranodon, and these ones are just your normal ones. But yeah, I mean, these two look really cool next to each other, actually. Alrighty, everyone, so that's about to wrap it up for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. For my final thoughts on this figure, I really do like it. I know it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but because I know the survival line is kind of a mixed bag with some people, but I really like it. I like this Pteranodon. It has a really unique look to it, and I'm glad to have it in my collection, because this really does work well for a mutant Pteranodon rather than an accurate one. So I think for Jurassic, that actually works really well. I like the translucent wings. I like the detail in the wings, the bat-like appearance to it. The glow-in-the-dark feature is pretty cool too. Not as good as the Brachiochenius, I would say. But I really love the head sculpt on it as well, and I really do like the colors. So there's a lot of cool things with this Pteranodon, and I would say pick it up if really you want to, but again, it's not everyone's favorite figure. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next video.